The Flash is a student forum for students produced by students. Students make all content decisions, research, write, shoot, and broadcast news stories they deem important to the Eastview community. Stay tuned.
Good morning, Eastview. I'm Cooper.
And I'm Ricardo. And today is Friday, April the 23rd, and only Friday, April the 23rd. Now that we're all together,
our first story is about the switch to 4 days a week and the students' voice about that.
And after that, a story about how Bravo has changed this year.
And lastly, a story on Walter Mondal and his impact here at Eastview. Stay tuned for the Flash.
Cooper, how do you feel about the switch to 4 days?
Well, I do like having a lot more people to talk to. I am still a little worried about social distancing.
Well, on Tuesday, we had a historic day. The majority of the student body came back together ever since March 13th of last year. And we sent out a flash team of reporters to find out students' concerns and how their day went.
Last Tuesday, students at Eastview started returning back to school for 4 days a week. We asked a few Eastview students on their opinions about the new changes.
Today went pretty well. The only thing I was really concerned about is the stairwells, because the middle stairwell down by like the middle area on the first floor, it's like packed like sardines. It's like a wall of people every time you walk up.
I think the lunchroom, especially D lunch, was kind of packed, and I think waiting for to get their lunch was kind of concerning with the social distancing.
All my classes, it was a lot more engagement between the students because we had a lot more students in the classrooms.
It was nice seeing a lot of people that I haven't seen in a long time, but some of the classes were pretty big, and with trying to maintain social distancing, it was a little difficult, I think.
I feel like that puts a lot of pressure, and it changes my whole entire schedule from what I usually was doing, like with after school activities and with my work schedule. It just changes everything, and I feel like it's just going to add a lot of more stress to myself personally.
I much preferred the old schedule before we went to 4 days, just the 2 days a week. I felt like that gave me a lot more time to do homework.
With cases on the rise, we are unsure of how long this learning module will last. However, we are still hoping that students are able to make a few lasting memories before the end of the school year.
The transition back seemed to go really well, but time will tell whether this new system actually works or not.
Moving on to the Bravo performance, I hear it's supposed to be a little different than last year's.
You know, it's the same performance, just a different way of performing it.
Oh.
Lucas has the story.
Unless you've been living under a rock, COVID-19 has changed many of the extracurricular activities here at Eastview. One in particular is the theater program. They have found fun and unique ways to continue their performances. The fall play found a way to do their production, The Perfect Ending, over Zoom, and the musical You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown was recorded and edited together. Now, it's Bravo's turn to find a way to perform with the limitations that are set in place. A big difference with this show is that they had a shorter timetable to learn everything before filming began.
I don't know, there's takeaways, but there's also givens to doing both. Like if we did it in person, we would have a crowd and we would have an atmosphere, but we would also have to learn everything and have it performed day of, and we'd have to do that over and over again. Whereas when we do it not in person and recorded, we can have more mistakes, we can mess up, but for certain numbers that lack the crowd atmosphere, it just feels very awkward. But I feel like either way, it's going to be a really good show.
Now, just because they are recording the show doesn't mean that it's all that different compared to Bravo's in the past.
No, not at all. I mean, it's a completely different show. I mean, we're filming everything, but it's still got that Bravo energy. It's still got the community that a normal Bravo has, so it's been really fun.
Bravo is sharing the same theme as last year due to not being able to put on a performance, and most students already knowing a majority of the material.
At first, it kind of felt disrespectful to last year's seniors for them getting those solos and then not being able to do them and having to go off. But now it just kind of feels right, like we kind of had to do it.
With all the challenges they faced for the show, it seems likely that they will be successful in their performance of Bravo British Invasion. Signing off for The Flash, this is Lucas.
That was an interesting way to put on a performance.
You really said it. They had to think outside of the box this year to keep everybody safe.
And lastly, we have a story on Walter Mondal, a Minnesota-born politician who climbed the political ladder to become the Vice President of the United States, who recently just passed away, along with his connections with Mrs. Moy, a Japanese teacher here at Eastview, and his connections to the Eastview community. Here's Khaalid with the story.
So through a connection, we found out that a student in my class, dad, was very close with Walter Mondal, and they said we could bring him to Eastview. So I made a whole political project where we looked at politics for the first time, Japanese politics, Asian politics. Students prepared questions, and then we had him over in the media center, which is now called the Learning Commons, and just had basically like a round table discussion where we got to ask questions and learn from him, from his experience on world issues.
It's really sad to see such a huge figure in our community pass away.
You're certainly right there. A person that has had a huge impact on this community.
Well, Eastview, that's all we got for you.
Have a nice day. Make smart decisions.
Don't forget to stay tuned for the credits.
Hello, I am Dr. Pfizer, and I have built a time machine that will take us from 1985 to 2021. Let's go. It worked. Let's go on a ride. 2021 is so weird. There's so much corona everywhere. And what is that kid doing in the parking lot? What am I watching? Why is this incredibly handsome young man dancing in the parking lot?
Oh, why am I so fine? Hopefully this gets me followers on TikTok. Okay. I'm getting ripped tonight. R.I.P. that. Hey. Like and follow.
That's what Gen Z is trying to do to get famous? That's too much. We're going back to 1985.
Take me back. I don't want to get ripped tonight.